Hello, my name is Christopher Scott. Thanks for joining me for another Basics of the Bible video. In this video, we're going to look at the book of Second Chronicles. The book of Second Chronicles. The Basics of the Bible video series is a series of 75 different videos that I'm doing, going Genesis to Revelation. And there's a link down there in the description to the playlist here on YouTube where you can watch all those videos here for free. So thanks for watching me. So the Second Chronicles is what we are looking at today. And just a review from the Bible, there are 66 books in the Bible. There are 39 in the Old Testament, and then there are 27 in the New Testament. Out of those 39 books in the Old Testament, there are 5 books of Moses. We call those the Pentateuch or the Law: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. And then there are 12 historical books, Joshua through Esther. And so Second Chronicles is part of those historical books, which were written to tell the history of Israel, but also to point out specific things in their history and their heritage and explain where they were from, where they came from, and how God had interacted with them. So Second Chronicles is part of those historical books. And the one-word description I want to give for Second Chronicles is falling. So First Chronicles, I talked about how it described the rising of the nation, and they were this pinnacle of fame and strength and wealth and might among all the nations. And First Chronicles describes that rise to fame. Second Chronicles describes the falling from that fame. Second Chronicles covers the same period of time of First and Second Kings, but the focus is different. It almost completely ignores the nation of Israel in the north. So I have a video here that I'll give you on First Chronicles, on First Kings and Second Kings. I'll put them up there in the ID cards. And in those books, we read about, in First Kings, there's this split of the nation of Israel. So in First Kings, King Solomon dies, his son Rehoboam assumes the throne, and there are 10 tribes in Israel in the north that decide they're just going to do their own thing, and then that leaves 2 tribes in Judah in the south that are left down there, and that's what we call the divided kingdom that happened in 931 BC. So that is described in 1 Kings. And then in 2 Kings, we learn about how the people of Israel in the north and the people of Judah in the south both leave because they are conquered by foreign nations. Israel in the north is conquered by Assyria in 722 BC. Assyria comes, conquers Israel, and takes them back to Assyria. And then Judah in the south is conquered by Babylon in 605 BC, 597 BC, and 586 BC. Babylon comes and takes them all back to the nation of Babylon. And so Second Chronicles describes all of those events. This one book of Second Chronicles describes everything that happened in First and Second Kings. Except it's a little bit, it moves faster, it doesn't give as many details, but it's written to tell that story. So the author of Second Chronicles, we do not know who the author is, but a lot of people believe it was the priest Ezra that's trying to tell the nation of Israel, or the nation of Judah, I should more specifically say, where they came from and describe their history. The audience was the nation of Israel. I said it again. The nation of Judah that was back in the land of Jerusalem. So I mentioned how the people of Judah were taken away into exile in 586 BC. King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon comes in 605 BC, 597 BC, and 586 BC. All this information is down there in the description for you. And when he comes, he takes people back to Babylon. But eventually, Babylon is conquered by the nation of Persia. And King Cyrus of the nation of Persia conquers them in 539 BC. And then in 538 BC, he gives this decree. He gives permission to the Jews to return back to their land in Jerusalem, in Judah, to rebuild their city. So that starts in 538 BC, 536 BC. Under Zerubbabel and some other people, they have rebuilt parts of the temple. And then a little later, Ezra returns back to the land, and then Judah. And it's likely during that time of Ezra and Nehemiah So Ezra returns, and then Nehemiah returns to Judah. And it's during that time of Ezra and Nehemiah that likely Ezra wrote this book of Second Chronicles to tell the history and provide everybody the big picture of what they were and how they were conquered, but now that they're back in the land. So that's the audience of this book. The date it was written is likely in 450 BC to 425 BC, but the events that it describes are 970 BC to 538 BC. That's the events within the book that it describes. 970 BC to 538 BC. And a key verse of the book, let me see here, 2 Chronicles chapter 7, verse 14 is a key verse, I believe. And my people who are called by my name humble themselves and pray and seek my face and my turn from their ways. I'm sorry, let me read it again. I just was reading awkward. And my people who are called by my name humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways. Then I will hear from heaven, will forgive their sin, and will heal their land. Basically, God recognizes that these people have turned away from him, and he wants them to turn back to God, and he wants to bless them because of it. So the outline I've created for 2 Chronicles, the first 9 chapters describe one mostly good king. First 9 chapters describe Solomon. He was one mostly good king, had some struggles, but he was mostly good king. And then chapters 10 through 36 describe mostly bad kings. And it focuses on all the kings of the south in Judah. Why was that? Why does it only talk about the kings in the south of Judah? Well, first of all, the nation of Israel got taken off to Assyria. So Israel is that nation in the north. They get taken off to Assyria in 722 BC. We never really hear from them again. We don't know where they went or what happened. And so the people that have returned to Jerusalem, to the nation of Judah, to Jerusalem in 538 BC, 536 BC, they need to know who they were. And so that's why 2 Chronicles focuses only on the southern nation of Judah, based in Jerusalem. Okay. So that's a little bit about 2 Chronicles. I know it's complex and there's a lot of Old Testament history that's tough to follow. I have a bunch of notes down there in the description, so I hope that helps outline some of the dates. And if you watch some of my other videos I've done on the Old Testament, on 1 Chronicles, maybe 1st and 2nd Kings as well, I'll try to put the videos in the ID cards there. You're welcome to watch those. I hope those will make some more sense for you too. So 2 Chronicles is about falling. How the nation of Israel is this strong, powerful nation, but they fall from that and get conquered and taken away, but eventually are allowed to return to Jerusalem. My name is Christopher Scott. Thanks for watching this video. If you found this video helpful, you're welcome to subscribe to my monthly email newsletter. There is a link in the first comment down there. If you subscribe, I will give you a free Bible study guide that you can use on your own to study the Bible on your own and help you learn to do that. I also promise to send you only one email per month as part of my monthly email newsletter. I give you links to the newest articles that I had published in the previous month, and I give you links to the newest YouTube videos. So if you found this one helpful and want to make sure that you stay updated, subscribing is the best way to do that. Thanks for watching. Hope to catch you again soon on another video.